homesteading challenge builds. Again, this is going to be in town, not where the homesteads are, but I still want them there for me. Now, this house actually isn't going to belong to any of the Sims that were on the trail. This is going to belong to the Kine family. No relation to the Kine Society. I'm actually going to be including some of my favorite characters from like old Western movies, which includes the Pontype family from the Seven Brides from Seven Brothers movie. And just so that the genetic diversity doesn't die in town immediately, I'm not going to make them actually brothers. So for some of them, the last names came from the brides. But anyways, this will belong to the Kine family, which is Frank and his wife Sarah. Frank is going to be the town sheriff. And yeah, so that's who this belongs to. Now, this is actually based on another house that I have been in from Nevada City, Montana, which is basically Virginia City, Montana. It's right there. Now, this is called the Sedman House. The Sedman House is not original to the area. I think I've said it before, but basically Nevada City is like a retirement home for old houses that otherwise would have gotten knocked down. And a very eccentric wealthy man went, I'm just gonna make my own little western town out of these authentic buildings, and he did. But the Sedman House is originally from Junction City. It belonged to a rancher, gold miner, and legislator. I can't say that word. He's a politician, and his name was Oscar Sedman. I don't remember the interior of this house very well. This is one that you are allowed to walk in, and the rooms are blocked off by plexiglass. I remember I could only find a photo of the sitting room, which I do remember, and a fun fact about the sitting room is if you actually look at it, you can see, because this is before there was a lot of rules and regulations about like historical, and before people really cared all that much about caring for things properly. So you can see where the building was straight up chopped into pieces. Like the wallpaper, you can see the slits in the wallpaper. They just cut it into pieces and moved it, brute force, and like, you have to admire that. I don't remember the room on the other side. I'm pretty sure it was a dining room, but it might have been another sitting room. There's areas of the house that you cannot access because you can only go through the stairway. The parts you can access, you go up the stairs, you can see a really cool bathroom, like that I remember more than anything, and since I was working as kind of a tour guide-y person on a train, I always told people, I'm like, go visit my bathtub. It is beautiful, and it is. Like, 10 out of 10. I'm very disappointed I couldn't find pictures of it, but it's tiled and it's magnificent. And it's on the second floor. Upstairs there's 2 bedrooms. They like to say there's a ghost there. There's not. Somebody flips up that sheet. Don't buy it. Don't buy into it. I don't know if there's ghosts or not, but the sheet flipping is definitely a person who cleans the room, because people do have to clean these spaces. Now, as far as spaces you can't access, I do feel like there was like a sitting room study, and it's set up and you can see through windows. There wasn't a good way to allow people to walk through the home without potentially endangering the objects there. There also is a kitchen, and then I think that there's a cold storage celery room that I didn't build because I didn't want it part of this, but yeah, it's a really cool house, cool example. You can find photos of it before and after that they decided to paint it. For a while it was just the straight wood look, but of course back in the day these buildings wouldn't have just been plain untreated wood. That's not what they would have looked like. Just like all of those pretty white marble busts were all painted in cartoon colors, and a lot of people don't want to accept that, but that was the truth. So they did paint this house. They painted it before my time, so I only knew it as a yellow house. I didn't actually have the right wallpaper either. It should be a lighter yellow, like sunshine yellow, with white trim, which actually comes with the game, but I've hiders in, so I just made it this color. I might change it to the right color. And it did have a yellow door at the top, which I was leaning towards, but it just personally was bothering me because I didn't like it. Because in real life, it is a yellow door with red trim. Don't have that. In a similar fashion, the upstairs railing was like red and white, and I had that fencing in that looked okay, but it wasn't the right shade of white. It was bothering me, so yeah. I went more red on this. I used some of the distressed stuff, some of the regular solid color red doors and recolors, and yeah, I really like it. I think it's cute. I think it's going to be a cute house for this purpose. It was supposed to have a white picket fence, but again, I have hiders and I forgot, so I might have to fix that. And yeah, it was fun to kind of take this trip down memory lane and be like, oh, I remember this place. I used to go there all the time. I'm pretty sure I have a key to the front door still because we had to lock up in the evening, and this is one of the buildings that I had to lock up, and you had to make sure, of course, nobody's still inside. And yeah, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that I never turned my key in at the end of the summer because just like it was chaotic. People were being hired, but like, things were happening. So I think that I might technically still have that key. Not that it'll do me any good, but yeah, it's definitely a cool property. There's a lot of really cool buildings. I'm not going to recreate everything in Nevada City. The ones that I really enjoyed, like there's technically a carriage house, which is the coolest building ever, but I will not recreate it because it also haunts my nightmares because the way that you had to lock the doors, you were briefly in a dark barn with no light that creaks and groans and makes noises, and it was scary. Especially because one time there actually was somebody in the building when I started locking it up, and I did my usual, hey, is anybody in here? And I don't know if they didn't hear me or they thought it would be funny to not say anything, but I started locking the door, and all of a sudden, like 10 feet from me, I hear, hey. Just real quiet, screamed at the top of my lungs. I also had to, fun fact, lock somebody in that barn. I locked about 5 people in that barn because there was a really bad freak hailstorm. These were hailstones the size of my fist. And I had to lock them in that, and I had to lock them in what we call the music hall, which is just all these machines. You put a quarter in it and it plays music, basically. And bane of my existence just because I had to sell tickets out in front of it for a while, and everybody likes there was one that had like horns. I think it was like 9 of them, and that was the favorite, and that was right in front, and it was really, really loud and was not my favorite. But yeah, I had to lock people in the music hall too because hailstones, and people were actually upset with me. They're like, why can't we walk around? I'm like, because if you get pinged on the head with one of these, you will have to go to the hospital. But we're on vacation, I know. And if you get pinged in the head with one of these, you will not be having a fun vacation. Like, I was so baffled that people were angry with me. This is before I really experienced people behaving in Yellowstone. People really do get angry at the dumbest things, and I'm like, technically I can't keep you here. You can leave, but like, you don't want to. In the aftermath, like, car windows were broken, and like, it was bad, and people were mad at me. And people were letting their children run around screaming at the top of their lungs. It was not a fun time for me. This is why, no matter what, I'm always nice to customer service workers and also servers, like at restaurants. Like, I don't care how awful they are. They could be the worst server I've ever had in my life, and I don't care. I will be nice to them because I don't know what's going on. I don't know if, you know, Jim is being angry because everyone called out sick and he's actually running the whole restaurant, and I just don't know that. I don't know. So I'm just nice to them, and you should be too. Not that I think anybody who watches my silly little hobby channel is mean. If you're watching Sims videos on the internet, I'm pretty sure you're a nice person. And I'm not biased at all. Although I will say I'm kind of sad because it just feels like a lot of Sims YouTubers that I was following, and like even gamer YouTubers, like, you know, people grow and they change and they just aren't posting anymore, and so it's like then I have to go find more. And it doesn't feel like there's an influx, especially Sims 2 players. I feel like we're just a dying breed. And like, I have a specific, I don't know. We're all different. We all like different things. And some players, like, they're perfectly fine. I don't enjoy their content. And that's not to say that their content is bad. It's just not for me. And so it's really hard for me to find, like, my jam, I guess. I don't know. I was just experiencing that today. And I was like, I wish that there was more Sim videos that I could be watching. So if you have a Sim channel, I would love to know about it. As long as you're not gonna be sad if it ends up not being something that I watch. I'll probably stay followed to you. Like, I follow a lot of people. Just because sometimes I do. I'm like, actually, no, this is what I want to watch today. But like, nobody takes it personally if I don't. So I'm always ultra paranoid. Like, anxiety is so weird. Like, you just get anxious about the dumbest things. And like, my partner has no anxiety whatsoever. He's just like, wait a minute, you're anxious about that? I'm like, yes I am. Just like the most random things that just are so inconsequential. That's why I like when the person posts, they're like, I want to get a good grade in X because that is normal to want and possible to achieve. And I'm like, oh my god, that's me. That is me in every situation that I've ever been in. I want a good grade. That is it. That is the solution to what is wrong with me. Is that phrase. This is a weird ramble. I'm sorry that I've been rambling, but like I don't have anything else to say about the Sedman house other than it's really cool and I highly suggest seeing it. I am fairly confident the furniture inside it doesn't belong to that house originally, but a lot of the furniture in Virginia City and Nevada City doesn't belong there. It actually belongs to like Butte. But that's a whole other thing. But it looks pretty. And it's fun to walk around. Just watch out for rattlesnakes and you'll be fine. Because yes, apparently you have to tell people, don't mess with a rattlesnake. Again, that's a whole other thing. You get people from other countries that don't have snakes and it's a problem. So yeah, this is the final result. This is where the Marshalls family will be living. I hope you liked it. If you liked this video, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.